Hi, it's Kevin here. Welcome to PrepareIELTS.com. Now, this is just a quick video. I've just got out of bed. It's quite early here in the morning. But what I wanted to say and talk about, I'm in a couple of groups on Facebook, free IELTS groups, and I feel compelled to respond to several essays this past week. Now, the reason why I do so is because people are posting essays which are clearly not good, and other people are misleading them by saying, oh, this is a 7, it's an 8, it's 7.5, when in reality it's nothing of the kind. They will be lucky to get 5, possibly 6 on a very good day for the examiner. So I posted a video about one of these essays, I think it was a week ago, and here is another one. As I say, some people were saying it's 7.5. Now, the main reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want people to get false hopes, to get false illusions. People think, oh, some random stranger who knows nothing about IELTS on the internet has told me my essay is a band 8, therefore I will be fine. If you believe this, you're not going to get a very good score when it comes down to you taking the real examination. Now, I know that people don't want to be spending or paying professional teachers to assess their essays, but really you should. It's an investment in your future, and relying on random people on the internet saying, oh, your essay is 7.58 will do you no good at all in the long run. So I've got an essay, I'm referring to the criteria, and I'll show you exactly why I think this essay would not get 7.5. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look at this essay, and I'll show you why I think this would receive a 5. So I'm going to be referring to the criteria. This is the official examiner's criteria. So this is not my personal opinion. This is how the examiners are trained and how they assess your essays. So first things first. What do the examiners do first? First, count the words, at least 250. Then they check the task response, go through the criteria in order, start with task response, then cohesion, coherence, vocab, and grammar. So they start with the statement that closely matches the complete essay. Then they read through the detailed features, they check below, above, and that's how they work out your score. So we'll start with a 9. So this is the first point I want to make. So we need a clear and fully developed position which directly answers the question, with good, relevant ideas, extended and supported. Okay, we want a clear central topic in every paragraph. We want it developed. Introduce the idea, explain it, give a specific example. Then we need good use of grammar, wide range of structure, not too simple. We need a majority of sentences to be without a mistake. So if you've written 12, you're going to be needing 8 or 9 without a mistake, or at least half if you're looking for a 7. We want less common items, we want uncommon items, idioms possibly when appropriate, and we want a logical sequence of information and ideas. We want a clear progression throughout the response. So that's what we want. So check it first. 257. Now that's a little bit short. I know the word limit is 250. But 250 odd words, if you're not careful, you're not going to properly develop your main ideas. Now, most essays come in around about 290-ish, 282, 290, 300 words. That's only about 12 sentences or 13 sentences. And that's a sufficient length for you to write it in 30 minutes and to develop your ideas. So, let's take a look. A mother, one of the most beautiful creatures of God, plays every responsibility. Can you play responsibility? I'm not quite sure about that. Towards her child, wholeheartedly expecting anything in return. Okay, well, what's the question? So it's asking us, do we agree or disagree that mothers should receive monetary compensation from the government because they stay at home? It says some people, not only, but especially. So, do we agree or not that the state should give some kind of financial compensation to mothers? Okay, so, again, directly answering and clearly directly answering the question. So, mother, one of the most beautiful creatures of God, expecting anything in return. Well, what does that have to do with the government giving you in money? Not a lot. Okay. Most of the thinkers, who? You mean some people? Some people believe or think that for mothers' security, they ought to receive financial benefits for the sake of the well-balanced personality of a child. Well, it doesn't say anything about what they sacrifice it for. It just simply says they stay at home instead of working. But this sentence, although it includes things that it doesn't mention in the topic, it's not bad. Okay, we at least have an idea. Okay, we have a clear opinion. Now, examiners don't like this. Will support my viewpoint in the upcoming paragraphs. This is a waste of words and it tells me absolutely nothing. The examiners say, again, directly answer the question. So you saying, oh, I'm going to tell you what my viewpoints are a bit later, how is that directly answering the question? Okay, to begin with, any financial aid to mothers means ensuring a better future because they spend money very wisely. Okay, now, again, refer back to the question, do we agree that they should receive monetary compensation from the state? You say yes. Ensuring their better future. Okay, because they spend money very wisely. What does that mean? I've no idea how this is connected. Ensuring their better future because they spend money very wisely. Okay, well, we'll continue. After spending some amount for child's needs, they start saving it for their old age. And this will lead to sufficient cash for survival necessities after their 60s. Okay, so child, but don't you have a pension? I mean, most countries have a pension. You know, if you are 60, you can claim a pension. So okay, so it's moving along, but I'm still not quite sure. Okay. Furthermore, they might not be dependent on spouse or on their spouse, even for their requirements. I'm not really sure what that means. So providing financial aid means ensuring that they have a better future. Okay. So they spend it on their child's needs, then they start to save what they've got left, and this is what they'll use for their pension, regardless of most countries do give women a pension at 60. Okay. Furthermore, they might not be dependent on their spouses. Well, what does that mean? I mean, if you have a spouse, surely a husband, isn't that what he's supposed to do? Provide for his family? So I'm not sure. To cite an example, in Australia, mothers receive a living allowance for making an arrangements, for making arrangements to independent living. Again, what does that mean? What does that have to do with anything? So I'm not really. There's some idea here, but okay. So we've got a position, but the development, I'm not really clear where it's going. The ideas don't really say a lot. It's not sufficiently developed. You know, I mean, it's like a position. It's not as clear as it could be. I'm not really sure exactly where this essay or what that paragraph is talking about. So, okay, let's go back. Secondly, to make women independent, essential to always get money help towards them. Against the cruelty of men. So the first idea is that women spend money wisely. Are you sure that everybody does? When you're talking about they might not be dependent on their spouse. So, oh, okay. So I'm not sure about against the cruelty of men. So here you're saying they might not be dependent on their spouse. And secondly, to make women independent. Well, who said anything about they should be independent? It says, you know, they should stay at home, presumably looking after the child or children, and instead of working, they should receive some kind of compensation. So where's this about independent? Where's that from? Okay. Essential to argument of a survival is possible against the cruelty of men. Where does it say anything about that? Additionally, when the monthly cash is credited to their accounts, they will get respect from the male domain of society, because it is a bitter truth that masses respect those who have money in their pockets. Well, what does that have to? I'm not sure what this is talking about, where this is going. It's not very clear. I mean, you know, right, for this essay, what you could have done, it said, okay, mothers should receive some kind of compensation because they're not working, so they only have their husband's income, they're looking after the kids, children are the future of a nation, therefore the state should help the mothers to look after these kids, etc. But here we've got some ideas, but there's no development. I'm not really sure what this has got to do with anything. This further leads to the feeling of self-dependency among them. Self-dependency among whom? Who is a dependent? Self-dependency. I mean, so I'm not sure even who this them or pronoun or who this is talking about. To illustrate, a dowry and female, is that supposed to be feticide? Rates will definitely decline if the government introduced schemes for women. What does dowry and feticide have to do with anything? Putting it in a nutshell, you mean in conclusion, obligatory, well, it doesn't say obligatory, national security, and what does this have to do with anything? What crime rates are you talking about? So there's some ideas, so there's some grammar, vocab's not too bad, vocab's not too, vocab's not so bad, but in terms of cohesion and coherence, right, is there an overall progression in the essay? Well, I don't think so. Can we follow the relationship of ideas? Well, I don't think I can, no. I'm not really sure where it's going. So there's some ideas, but really, to be frank, the examiner is not going to have any clear idea of what this essay is talking about. Essentially. So you've covered the prompts kind of, there's some ideas, but it's not clear. We don't really know what you're talking about, relationship, it's just not good. And for those reasons, grammar and vocab aside, this is why I said I would give it 5. Honestly, I'm reading this and I've got no real idea what this essay is talking about.